Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our presentation today on the fascinating topic of man-machine interface, or MMI. Today, we'll explore how these sensitive interfaces are transforming the way humans interact with technology. We'll cover key concepts, recent advancements, and future trends. So, let's dive in and discover the dynamic world of MMIs together. Let's take a closer look at the background of man-machine interfaces, especially in the context of construction equipment. When working with heavy machinery, understanding hazards is crucial to ensuring safety on the site. One of the main challenges is dealing with blind spots, which are areas around the equipment that the operator cannot see from their cab. These blind spots can pose serious risks to workers nearby if not managed properly. To address this, we need to implement effective control measures, such as using spotters, mirrors, and cameras to help the operator maintain awareness of their surroundings. Establishing a clear work zone is also essential. It helps create safe boundaries where only authorized personnel are allowed, minimizing the risk of accidents. We often categorize these zones into different colors. The red zone, which indicates danger zones where no entry is allowed. The amber zone, which signals caution, areas that require extra awareness. And the green zone, which is safe for workers when proper procedures are followed. Understanding these zones and the concept of blind spots is fundamental to maintaining safety while working with construction equipment. By applying these principles, we can create a safer environment for everyone on the site. Let's explore what safe working zones are and how we can effectively establish them. Essentially, these zones are designated areas around equipment where safety measures are prioritized to protect workers. Establishing these zones involves assessing the environment, identifying potential hazards, and setting clear boundaries that everyone understands. When zones are defined, additional control measures come into play. These might include physical barriers, warning signs, or safety protocols like spotters to ensure no one inadvertently enters a danger zone. These measures help reinforce the boundaries and reduce the risk of accidents. Now, it's crucial to understand the responsibilities of all employees working with plant and equipment, especially when dealing with the man-machine interface, or MMI. Everyone must stay alert, follow safety procedures, and communicate effectively. This includes checking blind spots, using safety signals, and never operating equipment without proper training. Speaking of blind spots, different types of equipment have their own typical blind spots. For example, cranes have areas that aren't visible from the operator's cab, and trucks might have rear blind spots. Identifying these is key to avoiding accidents. So, what exactly are blind spots, and how can we eliminate them? Blind spots are areas that the operator cannot see, which can lead to dangerous situations. To eliminate them, we can use mirrors, cameras, sensors, and ensure proper training. Regularly checking and maintaining these safety devices is vital. After covering these points, you'll be able to understand the common types of construction equipment and the background of the man-machine interface. You'll also learn about the typical hazards encountered when working with heavy plant and equipment. This knowledge is essential for creating a safer work environment for everyone involved. According to OSHA, being struck by a vehicle or other object is actually the second leading cause of fatalities in construction work. That means it's a significant risk that we all need to be aware of. About 75% of these tragic incidents involve trucks, cranes, and other heavy equipment. These machines are essential on the job site, but they also pose serious dangers if proper safety precautions aren't followed. It's really important to understand the safety measures when working around heavy equipment like dump trucks, front-end loaders, cranes, excavators, bobcats, forklifts, and concrete trucks. Each of these machines, while incredibly useful, can cause severe injuries or fatalities if not handled correctly. Working near heavy equipment is inherently dangerous. Too many workers are lost each year because they are crushed or struck by these machines. That's why we need to stay vigilant and always follow safety protocols. Remember, the man and machine interface is a critical part of job site safety. Being aware of how these machines operate and respecting their power can make a huge difference in preventing accidents. Safety is everyone's responsibility, and staying alert helps keep us all safe. Here on slide 5, we're looking at some of the most common types of construction equipment. These are essential tools on any job site. First, we have the roller, which is great for compacting soil and asphalt to create a solid foundation. Next, the dump truck is crucial for transporting materials efficiently across the site. The excavator is versatile, used for digging, lifting, and moving large amounts of earth or debris. Then there's the grader, which levels and prepares the surface for paving or construction. Moving on, we have the skid loader or bobcat, which is compact and highly maneuverable, perfect for smaller tasks or tight spaces. The backhoe combines digging with loading capabilities, making it a true multitasker. The front-end loader is another versatile piece, used mainly for scooping and loading materials. Lastly, the mobile crane plays a vital role in lifting heavy loads and placing them precisely where needed. All these machines are designed to improve efficiency, safety, and precision on the construction site, and understanding their roles helps us see the bigger picture of how construction projects come together smoothly. Now let's take a closer look at some of the typical hazards associated with MMI, or marine mechanical installations. On this slide, we're focusing on the key point labeled sensitive. What does that mean in this context? Well, it refers to components or systems that are particularly delicate or vulnerable to damage or disturbance. When working with these sensitive parts, extra care is essential to prevent accidents or failures. Think about electrical systems, control units, or instrumentation. These are often quite sensitive and can be easily affected by improper handling or environmental factors. Understanding the sensitivity of these components helps us prioritize safety and proper procedures. It's about recognizing that certain parts require more gentle handling and specific precautions to ensure their integrity and proper functioning. Connecting this to our overall theme, being aware of these hazards and how to manage them is crucial for safe and efficient operations. It also helps us minimize downtime and avoid costly repairs. So always remember, when dealing with sensitive equipment, approach with caution and follow the recommended practices to keep everything running smoothly and safely. Now, let's talk about some of the typical hazards you might encounter when working with equipment. One major concern is blind spots or reduced visibility. This can happen around rotating machinery or when you're working near the swing radius of equipment. It's crucial to be aware of the travel path to avoid accidents. Suspended or overhead loads also pose significant risks, especially if you're working underneath overhead hazards like utility lines or cable trays. These loads can suddenly shift or fall, so staying alert and aware of overhead conditions is vital. Another important point is working around existing underground utilities. Hitting a utility line can have serious consequences, so always verify the location of underground utilities before starting any work. Crushing is a common hazard, especially in tight spaces or when working near moving parts of machinery. High noise levels are another concern. They can not only impair communication, but also cause hearing damage over time. And finally, always pay attention to the proximity of moving equipment. Staying aware of where machinery is and maintaining safe distances helps prevent accidents. By understanding these hazards and staying vigilant, we can create a safer work environment for everyone involved. Now, let's talk about curtains and their placement around the equipment. It's important to remember that curtains must not be fitted inside the cab of the equipment itself. This is a crucial point for safety and maintenance reasons. Instead, any curtains used should be positioned around the operator cabin, but never inside it. This is especially sensitive because improper fitting inside the cab can interfere with controls, visibility, or even cause safety hazards. Ensuring curtains are correctly installed around the cabin helps maintain clear access and prevents any accidental obstruction. So, when you're considering curtain placement, keep in mind that the focus is on safety, visibility, and ease of access. aligning with our overall theme of safe and efficient equipment operation. Operators of plant and equipment can often have limited visibility of ground workers who are close to the machine. On this slide, you'll see some of the common blind spots that excavation equipment operators need to be aware of. These blind spots are areas where the operator cannot see clearly, which can pose a safety risk. It's very important to remember that there will always be a blind spot directly in line with the boom of the equipment. This means that workers should never approach the machine from that area without proper communication. Workers should only approach the operator after receiving an explicit OK to approach signal. This ensures that everyone is on the same page and helps prevent accidents. So, in summary, understanding these blind spots and maintaining clear communication are key to keeping everyone safe around construction equipment. Let's talk about the concept of a blind spot. Now, a blind spot is essentially an area where we're sensitive or unaware of something, often because of our own perceptions or biases. It's that part of our awareness that we might not see clearly, even though it's right in front of us. Recognizing these blind spots is crucial because they can influence our decisions and interactions without us realizing it. When we're aware of our sensitivities or biases, we can work to address them, making us more effective and empathetic in our roles. This ties into the overall theme of self-awareness and continuous improvement, reminding us that growth often begins with understanding what we might not see at first glance. So, being conscious of these blind spots helps us become better leaders and colleagues, fostering a more open and honest environment. Can you identify the blind spots of the dump truck? This is a crucial question because blind spots are often overlooked, but can lead to serious accidents. When we talk about blind spots, we're referring to the areas around the truck that the driver cannot see directly, even with mirrors. These are the zones where a pedestrian, cyclist, or another vehicle might be hidden from view. Understanding and recognizing these blind spots helps us develop better safety practices and awareness. It's important to remember that these blind spots are sensitive areas, meaning we need to be especially cautious around them. By identifying these zones, we can prevent potential collisions and ensure safer operations for everyone involved. So, the key takeaway here is to always be aware of these hidden areas and stay vigilant, especially when working around large equipment like dump trucks. Let's take a closer look at the blind spots of a forward-facing dump truck. These are the areas around the vehicle that the driver cannot see directly, even with mirrors. Understanding these blind spots is crucial for safety on the job site. There are typically 3 main blind spots to be aware of. First, directly in front of the truck, especially close to the bumper. Because of the size and height of the vehicle, the driver's view of anything right in front can be limited. Second, on the sides of the truck, particularly on the passenger side. This is often the area where pedestrians and smaller vehicles can go unnoticed if the driver isn't extra cautious. And third, directly behind the truck. The rear blind spot can be quite large, making it difficult for the driver to see anything or anyone in that zone without additional mirrors or cameras. Recognizing these blind spots helps us understand why it's so important for everyone around heavy equipment to stay vigilant. It also highlights the need for the driver to perform safety checks before moving the truck, and for us to maintain clear communication and visibility whenever working nearby. By being aware of these blind spots, we can prevent accidents, protect ourselves, and improve overall safety on the site. This understanding ties directly into our overall safety culture and the importance of proactive awareness around large machinery. Can you identify the blind spots of a grader? This is a really important question because, as educators or evaluators, we often think we're being objective. But the truth is, there are certain areas where we might unintentionally overlook or be unaware of our biases. And that's where sensitivity comes into play. Being sensitive means recognizing that our perspectives are limited and understanding how our biases can influence our grading. It's about being aware of how factors like personal experience, cultural background, or even our mood can shape our judgments. By being sensitive to these blind spots, we can work towards fairer, more consistent assessments. This ties back to the overall theme of striving for fairness and accuracy in evaluation. So, the key takeaway here is that self-awareness and sensitivity are crucial tools in minimizing bias and ensuring we grade with integrity. Now, let's turn our attention to the blind spots of graders. These are the areas where even the most experienced evaluators can sometimes miss important nuances. When I say sensitive, I mean that graders may be particularly affected by certain biases or assumptions without even realizing it. These blind spots can influence their judgment, often subconsciously. It's crucial to recognize that no one is immune to these biases, and being aware of them is the first step toward making fairer, more objective assessments. Throughout this presentation, we've emphasized the importance of fairness and consistency in grading. By understanding these blind spots, we can actively work to minimize their impact and improve our overall evaluation process. Remember, self-awareness plays a key role here. When we acknowledge our own potential blind spots, we become better at catching them and ensuring that our assessments truly reflect the effort and quality of the work. Now, moving on to slide 15, which focuses on sensitive, confidential, and proprietary information. Here, the key point is establishing safe work zones through effective control measures. When dealing with sensitive information, it's crucial to implement strict control measures to protect it. This means creating secure areas where access is limited to authorized personnel only. By doing so, we reduce the risk of data leaks or breaches. Remember, safeguarding sensitive data isn't just about compliance. It's about maintaining trust and integrity within our organization. So, always be mindful of where sensitive information is stored and how it's accessed. Establishing these safe zones is a fundamental part of our overall security strategy, ensuring that proprietary and confidential information remains protected at all times. All right, let's talk about the key safety points on this slide. When it comes to working around equipment, the first question to ask yourself is, yes, have you attended the MMI training first, and are you following the control measures? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. It's crucial to ensure you're properly trained and adhering to safety protocols. But what if the answer is no? Well, then the rule is no. You must obey the flagman and stay well away from the equipment. Their role is to keep everyone safe, so respecting their signals and guidance is essential. Now ask yourself, do you really need to go near the equipment? If not, then stay clear. Only approach if it's absolutely necessary and you're authorized to do so. And here's a very important point. Implement a no boots on the ground policy. This means making sure that footwear doesn't track dirt or debris onto sensitive areas or equipment. It's a simple but effective way to maintain cleanliness and safety on site. Remember, safety isn't just about following rules. It's about creating a culture where everyone looks out for each other. So, always ask yourself these questions and act accordingly to keep everyone safe. Let's take a closer look at establishing the work zone when working with equipment. First, we have the green zone, which extends to a 10-meter radius around the equipment. This area is considered safe because it's out of the reach of the equipment, has no blind spots, and maintains a minimum distance of 10 meters from every angle. It's important to recognize that working in this zone should be minimal, and when it is necessary, we need to ensure safety measures are in place. Next, we have the amber zone, which is within a 7-meter radius of the equipment. Entry into this zone is strictly controlled. Before entering, the plant operator must confirm positive visual contact, like giving a thumbs up or another form of clear confirmation. Additionally, authorization from the flagman is required. Any tippers, dipper arms, or hydraulics must be grounded or crowd in. The machine must be immobilized, and the engine switched off. To give you a sense of scale, 3 meters is roughly equal to 4 cricket bats laid end to end. So think of that as a close but controlled distance. Finally, the red zone is within a 3-meter radius of the equipment. This is the most critical area, where entry is prohibited unless the machine is completely isolated. That means the engine must be off, and a specific, safe system of work has to be in place to prevent accidental or deliberate operation of the machine. Overall, these zones help us manage risk effectively, keeping everyone safe by clearly defining how close we can get and what safety procedures must be followed at each distance. All right, let's take a closer look at this slide. Here, we have the different zones represented visually in green, amber, and red. These zones help us understand the level of risk or sensitivity in various working environments. In the green zone, we're talking about areas where everything is safe and secure. It's the ideal zone where minimal precautions are needed. Moving into the amber zone, we see a cautionary area. Things are still manageable, but we need to be more alert and attentive. Then, in the red zone, we're dealing with high-risk or sensitive areas. These are the places where extra care, strict protocols, and heightened awareness are crucial to prevent accidents or issues. The numbers 10M, 7M, and 3M likely refer to time frames or points of reference within these zones, emphasizing how quickly situations can escalate or how immediate the response needs to be. Finally, the mention of working zones and the number 18 indicates that there are 18 specific zones or areas we need to monitor or manage, with some being labeled as sensitive. Overall, this slide underscores the importance of understanding and respecting these zones to maintain safety and efficiency across our operations. Recognizing these distinctions helps us prioritize actions and responses appropriately. Now, let's talk about the importance of recognizing the red zone around our equipment and plants. As you can see, the slide is filled with the repeated word 3M, which emphasizes that if you are within 3 meters of any plant or piece of equipment, you are in the red zone. This is a critical safety boundary. When you're working, moving, or even just passing by within this 3-meter distance, your risk of being struck or injured by the equipment significantly increases. It's a sensitive area, meaning it requires extra caution and awareness. Being in the red zone means you are closer to potential hazards, so it's vital to always stay alert, follow safety protocols, and ensure you're aware of your surroundings. Remember, safety is a shared responsibility, and respecting this boundary helps prevent accidents. So always keep in mind, if you're within 3 meters of any plant or equipment, you are in a sensitive zone, the red zone, and safety should be your top priority. As you can see on this slide, the number 7 million appears repeatedly to emphasize a key point. Now, what does that represent? It highlights the fact that over 7 million accidents or near misses can happen annually within this zone. This leads us to the concept of the amber zone, which is a critical area for safety. Whenever you're working, moving, or just passing by within 7 meters of any heavy equipment, you're in this amber zone. Despite being not directly in the path of the equipment, you still have a high probability of being struck if you're too close. This is why understanding and respecting this zone is so important. It's a sensitive area where vigilance can prevent serious accidents. The main takeaway here is that proximity matters. Staying outside this 7-meter radius significantly reduces your risk of injury. Remember, safety isn't just about avoiding accidents. It's about being proactive and aware of these danger zones at all times. Let's take a closer look at this slide. As you can see, the repeated 10M highlights a significant milestone or target we're aiming for. It emphasizes consistency and the importance of reaching that 10 million mark across different areas or timeframes. Now, moving to the number 21, this could represent a specific point in our timeline or a key phase in our project. It's crucial because it ties together the previous points and shows progression. Finally, the label sensitive/confidential/proprietary reminds us that the information we're discussing is highly valuable and must be handled with care. It underscores the importance of confidentiality and proprietary rights, which are vital considerations in our work. Overall, this slide reinforces the significance of the 10 million target, the importance of timing or milestones, and the need to protect sensitive information throughout our process. Now, let's talk about entry restrictions in the red and amber zones. It's crucial to remember that entry is strictly prohibited for any staff members, including managers, supervisors, foremen, flagmen, surveyors, helpers, or anyone else. The only exception is when you've received a clear, "okay to approach," signal from the operator. This is a vital safety measure designed to prevent accidents and ensure everyone's safety on site. It's important to emphasize that without proper authorization and the necessary training, entering these zones is not just discouraged, it's prohibited. Specifically, without the proper MMI training, personnel should never step into these sensitive areas. This training prepares you to recognize hazards and understand safety protocols, which helps protect everyone involved. So always remember, safety first. Only approach these zones when you have explicit permission and the appropriate training. This approach keeps our work environment safe and compliant with safety standards. Let's take a closer look at the high-visibility vest. When we talk about this safety gear, it's important to understand that it's considered a sensitive item. This means it needs to be handled with care and respect because it plays a crucial role in keeping workers safe. The high-visibility vest is designed to make sure you're seen, especially in busy or low-light environments. Wearing a high-vis vest isn't just about compliance. It's about prioritizing safety and reducing risks. It often features bright colors like neon yellow or orange, along with reflective strips that catch the light and increase visibility from a distance. This helps prevent accidents, especially when working around moving vehicles or machinery. In the context of our overall safety program, the high-vis vest is a simple yet effective tool. It's a reminder that safety is a shared responsibility. Everyone needs to be visible and aware of their surroundings. So always ensure your vest is in good condition, properly worn, and visible at all times when required. Remember, safety is everyone's priority, and proper visibility is a key part of that. Now, moving on to other types of PPE, let's talk about sensitive equipment. These are items that require special care and attention because of their delicate nature. When handling sensitive PPE, it's crucial to understand that even minor damage or contamination can compromise their effectiveness. For example, items like respirator filters or specialized gloves need to be stored properly and inspected regularly. It's not just about wearing PPE, but also about ensuring that it remains in optimal condition to protect us effectively. Remember, in our overall safety approach, paying attention to these sensitive pieces is just as important as using the more obvious gear. They play a vital role in maintaining a safe and healthy work environment. Let's talk about rear view mirrors and reverse cameras. These are critical tools for safe driving, especially when you're maneuvering in tight spaces or backing up. They're designed to give you a clear view of what's behind your vehicle, which is essential for avoiding obstacles and ensuring everyone's safety. Now, the key point here is that these systems are very sensitive. They need to detect even small objects or pedestrians that might be in your blind spot. That's why modern rear-view mirrors often come with integrated sensors or cameras that enhance visibility. Reverse cameras, in particular, are a game changer. They provide a live video feed to your display screen, making it easier to see what's directly behind you. This reduces the guesswork and helps prevent accidents. Connecting this to our overall theme, these technologies are all about improving driver awareness and safety. They compensate for the limitations of traditional mirrors, especially in complex urban environments or when parking. So, embracing these sensitive, high-tech tools can really make a difference in how safely and confidently you drive. When we deal with multiple equipment, it's important to remember that this can create multiple blind spots. Each piece of equipment has its own angles and areas that we might not see directly, which increases the risk of accidents or misunderstandings. That's why it's crucial to always maintain eye contact. Maintaining eye contact helps us stay aware of our surroundings and ensures that we're connected with our team members, even when the environment gets busy or complex. This point is especially sensitive because it touches on safety and effective communication. If we don't keep eye contact, we might miss important cues or signals that could prevent incidents. So, whether you're operating machinery or working in a team, always make the effort to look and be aware of your colleagues. Remember, staying attentive and connected is a simple but powerful way to keep everyone safe and maintain smooth operations. All right, let's look at the danger signals, starting with the emergency stop. When you see both arms pointing upwards with the palms facing forwards, that's your clear signal to stop movement immediately. It's a universal sign to pause all activity for safety. Then, there's the specific hand signal for stopping movement. When the right arm points upwards with the palm facing forwards, that's your cue to halt what you're doing. Now, it's important to remember these signals are part of our need-to-know hand signals, especially in sensitive situations. They help communicate clearly and quickly, ensuring everyone understands when to stop or proceed with caution. By mastering these signals, we can maintain a safe environment and respond effectively in emergencies. So, always stay alert for these signs. They're crucial for everyone's safety. Now, on slide 28, we focus on the importance of segregating equipment and pedestrians. This is a critical safety measure in any operational environment. By clearly separating the pathways for pedestrians from areas where equipment is active, we minimize the risk of accidents and injuries. It's about creating a safe, efficient flow, making sure people know where to walk and where equipment is moving or operating. This segregation not only protects personnel, but also helps maintain smooth operations without unnecessary disruptions. Remember, clear boundaries and proper signage are key to ensuring everyone understands and respects these divisions. Overall, this practice supports our goal of maintaining a safe and productive work environment. Let's talk about the importance of segregating pedestrians and vehicles. This is a crucial safety measure because it helps prevent accidents and ensures smoother traffic flow. When pedestrians and vehicles are kept separate, the risk of collisions drops significantly. It also creates a safer environment for everyone, especially in busy urban areas where foot traffic is high. Implementing dedicated pathways, crosswalks, and traffic signals are practical ways to achieve this separation. These features not only protect pedestrians, but also help drivers stay alert and avoid sudden surprises. By prioritizing this segregation, we're supporting the overall theme of creating safer, more efficient transportation systems. It's about designing our streets and roads thoughtfully so all users can coexist safely and comfortably. Now, let's look at some key safety and operational protocols to keep in mind. First, it's important to remember that all these procedures are marked as sensitive, confidential, or proprietary information, so we handle them with care. We have an approved temporary movement plan, which requires regular auditing to ensure ongoing compliance. Trained banksmen or flagmen are essential for safety, and they must undergo refresher training every 6 months. Their ID cards or stickers should always be visible, and in critical situations, their guidance is considered a last resort. Secure parking is also vital. Keys should always be removed, and buckets grounded to prevent accidents. Regular checks, including pre-delivery inspections, annual third-party inspections, and more frequent weekly, daily, or even hourly checks, are necessary to maintain safety standards. It's crucial to keep detailed records of all these inspections. We must ensure that operators are competent, holding the appropriate third-party certifications and SAG approvals, especially for road use. The equipment itself should be well-maintained, tires, tracks, and other parts, without leaks or defects. Sound is also an important factor. An audible reverse alarm should always be functional to alert others nearby. Physical barriers should be solid and effective. Tape and pins are not enough for safety. Lastly, contractor obligations regarding heavy plant and equipment are to be clearly defined and enforced. All these measures work together to promote a safe, compliant, and efficient work environment.